So let's see. These guys and girls, they need some food, and I'm going to provide this now. The moment I open the door, there's a lot of activity and everybody wants to come. But they know that they're not supposed to come inside. That is as far as they go. So now let's go and give them their food. So here is the big bucket. And now we will go over there and fill it. And in a moment you can see them eating. And of course this is going to be an orderly process. And by the way, Mama dog Miriam is still there. It is pretty cold, so this is like being in a refrigerator, and I hope tomorrow I can use the backhoe when Uncle comes back with all the other tools, and then we can put her to rest for real. And you can see that we have stocked up with feed. That barrel is also full, but I'm using the bags first. Of course, having the bags like this is a problem with rats, but there will be a container solution for this going forward. A lot of things have been planned and kind of put in motion, but they are not visible yet because of all the holidays. And yeah, this is how it is. But we are on it now. And you can also see nobody is in here. They were just there at the door. And then something happened and they went away. They are always on the lookout. So here is the full bucket, and for those who might wonder, so this is a 20 kilo bag of dog feed, and I think I get about 3 buckets out of one bag, so it's not so bad. And of course this is their daily ration. So now they're all back. They had to check on something, and we will now go to the dog enclosure. So, komm, Hundehaus. Komm, Checker, Hundehaus. Ja, los, geht zum Hundehaus. Yeah, they know where the feed is going to be. So we all go in there. And then they will receive what they had been waiting for. But now I will turn this off, because I can't do this with just one hand. And no, I'm not going to put the tripod here. So, we are almost ready, because everybody is to sit. So I give a sign, and that is enough. Because we are practicing now voiceless communication. Animals read body language, and of course we can train them to understand the sign. It's even more natural than to decipher what a human says. Humans use voice, but animals, they communicate mostly voiceless. And that works very well for them. And while I'm showing you this, Franz here is eagerly awaiting the command. Well, you see, he also explains that he is attentive. So that's good. Jetzt. And you see, now it's time to eat. So I'm now going over there to provide the horses a new piece of land so that they can graze. And I'll leave my bucket here because I will come back the same way. It is already some 15 degrees. We had frost overnight, so it was maybe 3 or 4 below zero. I don't have a record about this. I have received a few pieces of equipment, networking equipment, a camera, a Wi-Fi access point, and that stuff also includes temperature and humidity sensors once it's all installed, and also gate sensors. So this allows me to know from afar if a gate is open or closed. So there's also some of that stuff happening. I can't install it just yet because I'm missing another device, and I certainly will then share what I have. So I think they should go somewhere else. It depends, so I should probably do a walk and then decide. Every single piece that is hanging here from the ceiling is accounted for individually. Nothing can escape. Each leg has a label with an identification number. Now Angel is taking one out to have a closer look. And here it is. You can see how yellow the fat is, and you can also notice how it has shrunk. Now the weight is significantly less than when it was fresh. When you start cutting the ham, it is important to keep this fat in order to close the cut surface again, so that it won't dry out. To get your own leg of ham, you can head over to our web shop and order some. There are two options for you to buy the ham. We offer envelopes with 100 grams of hand-sliced pieces of ham, and there is the full leg. In the case of a front leg, it's about 4 to 6 kilo each. Families in Spain keep the leg in the kitchen, and everybody cuts off a slice whenever they are hungry. So let's see how that looks like. It appears that there's still quite a lot of forage. It's only 3 horses, and this whole area is about 2 hectares. But of course it depends what area they declared to be their toilet, because in that area they won't eat anymore. They have been all over the place, that's for sure. But I have a feeling I can leave our zone A, where they were before, still in recovery. There's no need to bring them there just yet. So they can probably stay here a bit longer. So Solo is over there, alone. Solo. And over here, there are the 2 mares. And as you can see, one is already curious, as always. So let's say hi. That is how you say hi. Aha. So you wanted to tell something. What is it that you want to tell? Let's say hi to the other one. Nadu. Yeah. They are in very good shape, because there is plenty of food now. This, by the way, used to be a pig waterer when the previous owner of the previous owner was living here and running pigs. There is a water line that somehow goes over there. Of course now it's all non-functional, but this is how they used to do this. And yeah, there is forage, and given the low temperatures, I need to be a little bit patient when it comes to move them around. So this is not supposed to be here. Let's put it here. That can be used. So this is short, of course. So if you come from a totally different climate, you would say you have to move them. It is high time to move them. Yes, you are right. But I'm thinking about what the best decision right now would be. The thing is, the swing in temperature. So if a couple of hours are below 5 centigrades, then during that time the grass and the other plants, they will not grow. And then the few hours significantly above 5 centigrade will then allow the plants to grow, given that there's moisture, which we do have at the moment. It hasn't rained, but there's still enough moisture. So it looks pretty eaten up, to put it that way. So I think they do need to move. There are only a few spots where they would now have to concentrate to fill their bellies. Could probably last a day, but I think I'm going to open the gate down there, and then they can continue on the other side. Yeah, so this right here in front of me, this is still forage, so they could use this for a day. But the rest has been pretty much eaten up. And I hear you saying that eating up is not what should happen. Yes, that's correct. But then we need to take our special situation into account and sometimes eat up, because later things will die anyway, is not the wrongest decision. Yeah, Solo is always afraid. But I think I will not change my mind. They will have the gate open. I will not force them out. So I just open the gate and leave it open. And if they want to, they can go out to the easement. Yeah, so I'm talking about the gate there. And then they can decide whether they want to continue here or they want to try something new. Our whole place is closed, so they will not venture out to other people's land. Nothing bad can happen. So here in this area it is still standing good. So I guess once I open that gate, they will simply organize themselves. And I like that. And I also think this is a good model for the future. So we will enclose areas where we plant new things and then let some animals that understand this, so that would be the horses and maybe some donkeys, let them then figure out everything else. So this is the gate that I'm going to open, and then that's it. And then they can go over there to the other side. I don't have to open the other gate. That is only when we really manage paddocks, which is what's not going to happen at the moment. And I need two hands again. Okay, so this is now open. I will not move this part but the other has a mechanism that keeps it in place. The lock I will put like this, so it won't fall off easily. And now they can do whatever they want. If they want to leave or stay, it's up to them. But of course they will go there where the food is. So once this is depleted, they will then move, and when that happens, I will then close the gate, and that be it. And that water gets replenished all the time from the tank. It is more or less clean, and once they are on the other side, they have access to the big pond, so there is no issue. So let's close this again, and you might have noticed that this thing, that's the lid for this for this tank. It's still here, and this is something to take care of in a little while. It's not anything urgent at the moment, because this is now the lazy mode, but things have begun to move. So before I take the camera away, I can tell you the other part. So hopefully tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, it depends on what the truck owner eventually decides to do, we'll get the first delivery of some stones, and those stones will be used for the base for the first container. And then there will be another delivery of some gravel, finer stones, and then when this is done, I can put in the order for the first container. Supposedly it shows up within 2 days, they said. Some Chinese down there in Malaga who do this. And then we have the first container here, and then we can move stuff from this step by step more and more deteriorating shed into the container, and things then begin to shape like we want it to be. And the 8th of January, it's a Monday, is the day after the holidays when Spain wakes up and things actually start moving again. Until then we are a bit limited, but we do a few things. And after that 8th of January, this is also the day when the extension for these solar panels will show up. So these there, they will stay the way they are for a while, but there is a new destination for them also. And the others will then be placed on a new stanchion that the very same company that sells us the panels and does the whole installation will also provide somewhere here. You need to figure this out, probably a little bit closer to the tree, but not as close. So maybe there where the remnants of the tree are, there we will have that solar stanchion. It's going to be 14 panels. They are 570 watts each. And of course this is the nominal power that they can provide. It depends on where the sun is and all that. So it's never 570. I would assume it's 400 per watt per panel. And they are connected to a 6000 watt inverter. So it's a little bit overbooked. But as it's almost never the full power, the overbooking is something that you can do. And we are doing what the recommendation of the manufacturer, it's the German company SMA, is telling us. So that's going to be fine. And then we have a solid installation for these panels and quite a bit additional power. So now the power shortage during the day is then no more. And that helps with the air conditioning and also heating via the same air conditioning. That's a heat pump essentially, so it can cool and heat. So life's going to be a lot easier. And then we will also have a trench here. The first day we will just leave the cable on the surface, but eventually we will dig it in, and we have to finalize the plan what exactly is going to be in that trench as well. So it will certainly be a combination of power and communication. So there we have two cables, one Ethernet and one power cable. But maybe we will also bury a water line along this here, so that we can have water to wash those panels in summer. That would be a nice thing. So I guess it's going to be the trifecta of lines. And later on, once we have the first roof, it's going to be the roof between the two containers, then these panels can be moved there. That's one way. Or another is to buy again those higher rated panels, newer generation of the very same panels. So they're both from Axitec, another German company. Happens to be, not because I'm German, it just happens to be that the supplier prefers them, and why not? That's okay. So these panels might then be used, or we install another string, or two strings actually, of higher rated panels on that new roof. So basically from that point on, all the panels are going to be on roofs and will appear step by step. First is between the two containers, and then there will be the roof for the new workshop, or of the new workshop, and eventually there will be a house in front of that workshop. They both will share a wall, but it's a two-step process, just to make sure that we have something that we can use as early as possible and not be delayed by a project too big for the two of us, Angel and I. And that way things should then get significantly better. So here I have the feed for Mr. Cat. I am bringing this to him as well, so that everybody is now happy. I am providing their feed late, but now it's nice and warmish. So there is Mr. Cat, and of course there are some curious dogs. I am trying to explain to them that Mr. Cat is not a threat by walking around with him. So I take Mr. Cat in my arms and let them sniff, hoping that they will understand that Mr. Cat is a friend. But I guess now it is better that I use again my two hands to open this. Makes things easier. So we are successfully on the other side. They are all looking, but of course the moment Mr. Cat starts to run, the hunting instinct will kick in. That is something you can't turn off. They are guard dogs, livestock guardian dogs. And that means whatever does not have the right smell will be hunted. It's by instinct. There is really not much that you can do about this. Yeah, a kangal, to give another example, always is sleeping, does the lazy one the whole day until, and then all hell breaks loose. There is nothing you can do, and they're also not educated like you would with other dogs. A herding dog is a totally different thing. Yeah, a herding dog gets educated to herd. Of course there's also a herding instinct, but you can then refine that. But a livestock guardian dog learns the perimeter, and because has been impregnated on the smell of the animals that he is supposed to protect, that's all it takes. And unfortunately we missed that boat by not knowing, and now I can talk a lot because now I have learned it the hard way basically. But this is how it is. I do have a plan to provide these 8 dogs a job that is more than just guarding the farmyard here, but that job is a little bit further out and requires construction of a double fence, and then they can patrol this and protect the animals on the inside. And as they cannot reach these other animals, this is going to be this pig project there in that area with piglets. They don't have to know that the piglets are friends, because the piglets cannot get to the dogs and the dogs cannot get to the piglets, and the dogs can roam the whole area on a predefined path that is secured. So whoever wants to go to the piglets by crossing over that path will then meet the dogs, and therefore will not be able to reach the piglets. So is the plan, but that requires construction, and it will happen eventually. And I just mentioned this so that you guys understand that these 8 dogs are not just a nuisance. I have been thinking about what kind of job to provide them, and I think I have found one, because once we have the farmyard better organized, they will then spend the day when we have people here, might be you guys as volunteers or visitors, and they will spend the day inside of the dog enclosure. And that's also one of the first things that we are going to do, Angel and I, by setting new fence posts there in the back. They are waiting to be delivered, so we purchased them already, and they will then show up here once transportation has been arranged. And the thing is, they will then spend a lot of time inside of this, except for the night. Then they will take care of the farmyard while everybody is inside of a house. And eventually they will then have this other job. But like I said, this requires some construction, and first there will be other things. So I can see this next year. By next year I mean 2025, because next year is around the corner, 24. So this should be a quick update, so that you have seen something what's going on. And I hope in the next video I can then show you some actual construction work that is about to begin. And by the way, just to add this, these two, Oliver and Schneemann, they have been biting and splitting their ears. This is all by instinct. It's all about the rank. And you can see now they are providing each other a service by cleaning the ears. This is just how dog life is. There's nothing bad about that fighting that happens. It's part of their existence. They have to do it because they have to know each other's rank. Well, there was a sound, and suddenly he paid a little bit more attention, but the sound was short-lived. So they are good dogs, but you have to understand what they are. Their nature is not going to change. No, that's okay. I'm fine with that.